Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars, and let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, starting on this 2-day time frame, because a Bitcoin absolutely got saved by this critical level of support, and right now we have narrowly avoided this bearish confirmation. However, for now, keep an eye on this 111.7k level, guys. If we are getting 2-day candle closes below this, this still is the bearish confirmation that I am looking out for. Now, notice that right here, obviously, we did not get the candle close below. Therefore, we can still just see a bounce to the upside. And besides that, notice how on this 3-day time frame, we are also not seeing a candle close below just yet. And this candle here is closing in about 3 hours. Now, let's take a look at the 1-day time frame for Bitcoin, because right here, we are actually perfectly seeing a bounce from this big level of support, sitting from 112 all the way down to 110,000. In terms of resistance to the upside, we do have important resistance here at 115.5 all the way up to 117k. Besides that, likely we are also going to see some resistance along this ascending trend line, because we were holding this as a level of support. However, now that we have broken down below this here, we should also expect there to be some resistance around this level. Moving on to the 4-hour time frame here, because right now we are getting some bullish signals in the short term. First of all, we have a confirmed bullish divergence, which is when you have lower lows in the Bitcoin price and higher lows in the RSI momentum indicator. Typically, this points towards us getting a break from all of this bearish price action we saw here recently, either in the form of some choppy sideways price action or potentially some bullish momentum. Now, as I shared in my Discord community this morning, one bullish confirmation to look out for here is if we get a break above 113k. So in the short term, we absolutely need to hold this level here. And in terms of resistance, we can also take a look at some Fibonacci levels. Notice how right now we are trading below this 0.382 Fibonacci level, sitting at 113.6k. Breaking through this means that the next area of resistance here is going to be around this 114.5k level, roughly speaking, because we do also have a bunch of lows here around this area, lows and highs actually. So this is very, very likely going to be an area of resistance. And above that, we also have another critical area of resistance, that being the Fibonacci golden pocket, sitting between 115.2k and 115.5k. Besides that, breaking back down below 113k is likely going to be a warning signal here in the short term as well, so keep an eye on that, as well as this 0.236 Fibonacci level sitting at 112.6k. You could also take a look at a descending trend line like this on the 4-hour time frame, and you will see once again that we are right now at a critical area of resistance right around this 0.382 level that I showed you at 113.6k. So this is everything that I'm looking out for here in the immediate short term for Bitcoin. So to conclude this section of technical analysis, before we dive into the Bitcoin ETF flow tables, as well as the Bitcoin liquidation heat maps, right now in the short term, we are seeing some bullish signals. However, there is still quite a lot of resistance ahead that we should keep in mind as we are trending higher. Besides that, a warning signal in the short term would be breaking back down below 113k. Moving on to the 2-day time frame, we did not get the bearish confirmation. We in fact closed right above it. So that could be seen as a bullish thing here in the short term. We actually found some support instead of breaking down below. Lastly, make sure to check back in with tomorrow's video, because then I will be confirming where we actually closed this candle and if this is a bullish or a bearish thing on this 3-day time frame. So now let's move on to the Bitcoin ETF flow tables. Yesterday, we actually saw a decent size outflow of about $100 million from the Bitcoin ETFs. And notice how right now we are getting back-to-back days of pretty big outflows here. And this is potentially starting to look like a bit of a trend. So for now, it is too early to tell, but tomorrow I'm going to check back in with this once again to see if we are getting inflows or outflows and are actually able to confirm a trend for these Bitcoin ETFs or not. So lastly, let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map. First of all, on this 2-week time frame, because notice how earlier today we took out a massive amount of liquidity that I pointed out in yesterday's video as well, sitting at 113.8k. Notice how on this 2-week time frame, most of the liquidity is still to the upside. For example, at 117k, and even as high as 119,000. But if we zoom into this 48-hour time frame, right now there is also a decent amount of liquidity to the downside, for example at 110.8k and even at 112.4k. So these are just some areas to be paying attention to in the short term in case we start to see a bit of a retracement on these much lower time frames. Typically, the Bitcoin price gets attracted to where there's the most liquidity on this chart. So these could be some areas of interest in the case that you're seeing like immediate short-term ascending trend lines being broken, for example. Either way, this has been today's market update. Don't forget to check in with tomorrow's video where we are going to cover a bunch of very important confirmations for Bitcoin. But regardless, guys, thank you very much for watching once again. And I will see you tomorrow in the next one.